somewhere else, but this is where we found ourselves. Welcome to the local show. People you work with, people you know.
Welcome to another edition of the Local Show here on GrassRoots Community Network. I'm Erik, Skarvan, your host. Still, guys, in our 19th year of production here on GrassRoots Community Network. GrassRoots TV is located at the Rigsby Center for the Arts here in Aspen. We shoot every Tuesday afternoon. Thank you especially to our live audience joining us today. So excited for a first-time guest appearance. She's the executive director of our own Wheeler Opera House, Lisa Rigsby Peterson. Welcome to the show, Lisa.
Thanks so much for having me.
And we've got another first-time guest, actually mascot, Sammy, my dog, is on set. She'll probably pop into the shot here pretty soon. So thanks for joining us today.
It's a pleasure to be here. I'm very excited. Thanks, Erik.
It's so great to finally meet you. And I've obviously, it's like so many in the community, loved our local gem, the Wheeler Opera House, for so many years. I have to say, just right off the top, my favorite show, and I might even ask you this question, of all time was Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh.
He did a birthday show when we used to host the HBO Comedy Fest. And there were these things called Lucky Passes. And for $5, you could buy a Lucky Pass. You know, you stand in line, and if HBO didn't fill the Wheeler, they had to get all those seats filled. And I got in with my brother in two $5 Lucky Passes and got to see Rodney. And they did a roast for him. It was hilarious, of course. He had, I think, two women on each arm there, you know, celebrating his birthday, and then the full-on roast panel. And, you know, looking back, so many amazing shows there over the years. But I wanted to start with your background. From your early years, you had lived in Colorado?
Yes, we moved to Central City when I was 10. This was before gambling, so it was a great little mountain town.
Okay.
And then it got a little cold in the winter, so we moved down the hill a little bit to Evergreen. So I grew up in Evergreen, went to junior high and high school there, and then joined the Buff Nation and went to CU as an undergrad. Yeah.
And then you had gone on to, is it the Yale School of Drama
Yes,
after CU?
That's right.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, the Yale School of Drama is really a conservatory for people who want to make the theater their professional lives. And it's a master's program. I went to New Haven, Connecticut. My mom was raised in New Haven, so I knew it a little bit. It's the best pizza in the world outside of Italy, I'll just say that. Still, sorry New York pizza, but it's close.
New Haven's got it, huh?
That's right. But you know, even when I was at school, I knew that I wanted to come back to Colorado. I had classmates who were going all over the country to work, and I just said, nope. Going back to Denver, going back to Colorado, it's really where my heart is.
And then you had worked at the, is it the Lone Tree Arts Center?
Lone Tree Arts Center, yes.
Lone Tree Arts Center, which is an award-winning arts center. And so that was your experience then coming out of Yale School of Drama. Did you go to work right at the Lone Tree? Or
I didn't.
Okay.
I worked for the Colorado Children's Chorale. I worked for Opera Colorado for a couple of years. I spent 10 years working at the Denver Center for the Performing Arts, which is the big, the big performing arts center in the middle of downtown Denver.
Right.
Worked for a small theater company called Curious Theater Company.
Oh my gosh.
Family, which is used to be an acronym for the Physically Handicapped Actors and Musical Artists League. It is a company made up solely of people with disabilities. And then I saw the job posting for Lone Tree Art Center, which had not been built yet.
Okay.
And so I joined Lone Tree in 2010, and we opened in 2011, and finished in Lone Tree, and then 2 weeks later picked up the baton here at the Wheeler.
Which was it February 2021?
2021,
Did
that's
you start it at the Wheeler? Wow, you have quite a background then in these art centers.
Pretty varied, yeah.
So what do you like most about that? Like what drew you kind of to arts and entertainment?
Well, my father was a painter, and my mother was, she was a judge, but she was also an amateur actress. And so we always had arts in our family. We had music playing, whether it's classical or jazz.
Okay.
And I just loved it. And I have no skill as an actress. I can't design, I can't direct, but I loved the feeling of being in an audience during a performance.
Okay.
And when I realized that there are actually jobs where you can make that magic happen for someone else, like that's
Neat.
it. That's what I want to do.
Neat. Yeah, so you got that kind of that audience energy, but then, you know, creating that for the audiences, even better, right? Kind of next level.
It is just being able to think about what is the audience interested in?
Right.
What don't they know about yet that once they see it, they're going to love it? Curating those performances in a season of different things that will have discovery, maybe some dog shows, you never know, dance, music. I am incredibly lucky to be working in a field that I'm so passionate about.
And so what are some of those main criteria, like when you're looking to curate shows at the Wheeler, what are some of those main criteria that you look at?
Well, we want, at the Wheeler Opera House, we want people to create memories. I can talk about our vision statement in a little while.
Yeah, that's what it's about, though, creating those special memories.
That's right. That when you see, I want people to come to the Wheeler and say, do you remember that night when that happened? Whether it's because it was an amazing dance performance, you got to hear your favorite song by a band that you listened to and you had their record album or their CD, your cassette tape, who knows, right?
Depending on how far back.
That's right, depending on how far back. That there is that magic moment when something's happening on stage and you know you're one of only 475 people that are living and breathing that moment at that particular time.
So it's really about something special.
Yes, yes.
And creating those. And then you have a variety. Like there's, musical performances, theater, dance with Dance Aspen, which we'll talk about. We had a great show with Laurel Winton, the executive director earlier this summer from Dance Aspen. And so talk about a little bit about the variety, because you guys have a mix, including these upcoming shows that we're going to feature today.
That's right. Variety is really important, especially as a community arts institution. So we have to be something for everyone. We're not going to be everything for everyone, but it's really important that in a given season, if you like dance, that you have a chance to come to the Wheeler. If you like rock, you have a chance to come to the Wheeler. If you like jazz, you have a chance to come to the Wheeler. Bluegrass, you name it. And so putting a season together is really about variety then, and saying, here's a genre. We think people love bluegrass. Great. Well, let's figure out a great bluegrass artist to bring, or an artist who's doing something a little unusual that will really catch people's attention. So that's what goes into some of that decision making, all based on how is the audience going to experience what happens on stage.
Right, and imagine you have to look at the local demographic, visitor demographic, part-time resident demographic.
It's interesting. I would say between 65 to 70% of our audience, when we look at our demographics, live here.
Okay, so it's mostly locals.
We are a local institution. At the times you expect visitors to be in our audience, whether it's Christmas to New Year's, whether it's a President's Day weekend, that sort of thing. We do have visitors who come, but mostly we are a local institution for people who live here and have loved the Wheeler as long as they've been here.
Right, and now are you making those, you're executive director, you make the executive decision of who's going to perform, right? But is that done more by a team approach that decides on these various acts and performances?
So we have a leadership team. We also have just a small team of about 14 full-time employees, all of whom are really smart, really know a lot about some people are really good about comedy, some people are really good about other forms of arts. And so it's like a funnel. So I say, hey, give me some ideas, and we start generally narrowing down the funnel. Like, okay, we can only do so many shows because we also are home to so many beloved institutions like Aspen Film. Jazz Aspen has started performing, Aspen Community Theater. There's a long list.
Dance Aspen.
Right, over 25 different nonprofit communities we partner with.
Wow.
And so we have all of these ideas swirling around, and then gradually say, well, that's too much like that, or hey, don't forget we have to do Laugh Festival, so let's focus on that. So there is a lot of collective input. Ultimately, the final decision does rest in my hands, but it is very rare for me to say, we're doing this and I don't care if you don't like it. It's really a collective decision, especially because a lot of our staff have lived here and have worked here and have experienced what the Wheeler has done so well in the past. So being able to draw on their knowledge and their history is really valuable.
And then obviously it depends on these artists' schedules, right? They may be scheduled at certain times. So you're kind of working around their schedule. you're as they're dropping through the funnel, you also have to check and see if they're even available.
Yes.
Right. So that happens. And how far out are you looking to schedule? I mean, are you a year out where you're trying to schedule, well into 2024 right now, or kind of what's the lead time on these performances, like,
Typically
in terms of scheduling?
Yeah, typically we do a season. So for us, the season is late fall through usually about the end of March. And so we sort of set the base performances, and we announce them when we're ready. So we'll talk about 4 pre-holiday shows that we've got coming up in early to mid-December. And then we'll announce our Christmas week, our holiday week shows. We do fill in as we can, because there are some artists who aren't planning for next March, but next January they might say, hey, we're hitting the road. Do you have a slot available for us? So we want to leave some flexibility in the schedule too. But yes, we're planning many months in advance.
So you have artists approaching you at the same time, right? It's not just you going after them. Someone like, say, John Oates might approach you. Is that correct? I mean, you might have these artists saying, hey, I'm going to be on tour at this time. Would you guys have an opening?
A lot of it goes through agents, so mostly agents are contacting us about availability. And there are conferences you can go to where you can talk to the agents about their entire client roster and who might work in your theater and the timing. Somebody like John Oates, who is just an incredible friend of the Wheeler, he can come to us and say, I'm really interested in playing a concert, and we just figure out when we can make that happen. But most of the work goes through agents and at these conferences, and then, as you say, I have a gigantic calendar on my wall, and we just put little sticky notes on, like, hey, it would be great if this person could come on Friday. Oops, okay, they've got to come 3 months later, so then we just start moving all of these around until we've got it set.
Right. There's a lot of moving pieces there, and schedules and things like that, and then the criteria, and you're trying to hit, various people's interests, mainly locals, but also appealing to the visitors, the part-time residents. Well, cool. We got some good stuff to get to, including these upcoming shows in December. I'm so excited about it, and we've got some media to kind of promote that as well. I do want to thank our summer underwriters, Lisa, including the fantastic historic Wheeler Opera House, our presenting sponsor, Aspen Square, Haiti Children, Klug Properties, Silver Peak Grill, Susie's Consignment Aspen, Pick and Connie Solid Waste Center, and last but not least, Sundog Athletics. We're going to go to our only break of the show, guys. We'll be back in just 2 minutes. And there's so much going on at the Wheeler Opera House, so stay tuned with Lisa Rigsby Peterson. We'll be right back.
Susie's Consignment in Aspen at 600 East Main. Same friendly faces, same great prices, and new items daily. See you at Susie's.
At the Wheeler Opera House, we set the stage for connections that create memories for our audiences, artists, and greater Aspen community. At the Wheeler Opera House, all are welcome. You're welcome to be a part of history.
I'm so passionate about this community. I absolutely love living here and raising my family here. It gives me a lot of pride to share this with my friends and my clients and help them achieve their dreams of owning an Aspen snowmass and enjoying this incredible lifestyle.
Join the string beans in helping reduce food waste in our community.
Plan menus carefully and only buy what you need.
Collect unused scraps for compost.
Ask for smaller portions in restaurants.
Take home leftovers to eat later.
Donate unopened food to our food bank.
Let's work in concert to reduce food waste.
Providing exceptional service for over 50 years, Aspen Square features studio and larger condominiums for nightly rental with an ideal downtown Aspen location. They offer fully equipped kitchens, wood-burning fireplaces, and private balconies
with full hotel-style services and gracious hospitality. Aspen Square is proud to support the local show. Chef-owned and operated and supported by a hard-working team behind the line, Silver Peak Grill is passionate about their food, service, and delivering quality. Expect quick serve, casual dining, in a clean, bright atmosphere with an outdoor patio with shade in the summer. Sundog Athletics, Aspen's adventure sports school, is your opportunity to experience Aspen's most amazing adventure locations and gain new skills to increase your safety, performance, and enjoyment while mountain biking, road biking, hiking, and paddling on Aspen's exclusive canoeing adventure.
Welcome to the local show. People you work with, people you know.
So Lisa, we've got some great shows coming up and really a diverse variety coming up in December. And we've got a great video to kind of preview that. So let's check that out next.
In your Christmas of white, but
So amazing variety coming up in these productions, like I mentioned, Lisa. I mean, let's go through them, you know, kind of in order. And we've got this first one with Native Pride Productions, inspired by tradition, powered by dance, on December 3rd. Can you tell us a little bit about that show?
Yes, it's led by Larry Yazzie, who is a two-time world champion fancy dancer, which is exactly what it sounds like. Of course, he has all of the regalia, and he's appeared several times here in the Valley, and people absolutely love him. He's bringing a dance troupe with him, and we're excited about doing this on December 3rd because we'll be hosting the 5th annual Shining Mountains Film Festival, which is native films, native filmmakers, and it just makes a great complement to that film festival, which is on Friday and Saturday, to then on Sunday have an early afternoon performance of an amazing group of dancers who are going to look beautiful, sound beautiful, and just really, it is inspiring to watch this dance.
Right, it sounds very, very visual, very energetic.
Yes, absolutely.
Educational too, because we want to tie to our past, you know, and learn about the Native Americans, and so that sounds really unique, really energetic, tying into the Shining Mountains Festival.
Yes.
So that's perfect. And that's what the Utes called our mountains back, you know, way back when, were the Shining Mountains.
That's right. And it's great for families. It's a great family show.
Great family show. And then coming up, it sounds like kind of a Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett, classic Christmas kind of a feel with Mark O'Connor and his wife Maggie O'Connor, both Grammy Award-winning performers, with an Appalachian Christmas. Can you tell us a little bit about that? That's on December 16th.
That's right. So Saturday the 16th. We'll take the 40s crooners the next day for the Nat King Cole Christmas. But for Mark and Maggie O'Connor, both of whom are Grammy Award winning, it's an Appalachian Christmas. It's actually I think it's going to be a beautiful, quiet way to usher in the holidays. You know, Mark O'Connor, I think he's a 5-time Grammy Award winner. He is a world-class fiddler. He created his own process for learning how to play the violin, and he is a sought-after artist with, you name it, any major artist you can think of. And it's Mark and his wife Maggie, 2 fiddles on stage doing beautiful holiday classics, and then some of their own composition. So it's a fiddling, foot stomping good time, and also a great way to celebrate the ushering in of the holidays.
How neat! And then the following night, as you alluded to, Alan Harris sings a Nat King Cole Christmas.
That's right. And Valley residents probably are familiar with Alan Harris too. He's played several times with Jazz Aspen. He is an amazing performer. He is bringing his trio, and then he's got 2 special guests with him. Gloria Rubin, who some of our older viewers may remember from ER, from the TV
Right.
show ER. She
For
actually
sure.
toured as a backup dancer for a backup singer for Tina Turner. So she has the chops. So she's going to be singing as well. And then there's a man named Jumane Smith, who is a trumpeter and a vocalist. He's sort of like in the it's like a kind of New Orleans feel that he has.
Okay.
And
Kinda
again,
jazzy.
That's right. That's right. And it's the Nat King Cole beautiful holiday music, but it's got a jazz spin to it. And Alan Harris is one of the premier vocalists, I think, of his generation. So we're really excited about welcoming that group. Totally different than the Saturday night. You can have calm, peaceful, kind of very nice on Saturday night. Sunday night, you go into the Nat King Cole and little jazzy.
Man, that's, yeah. So, and then the variety continues in another family-friendly performance, Dance Aspen, who we featured earlier this summer with Executive Director Laurel Winton. They're doing a snowy soiree.
Yes,
December.
it sounds
I'm glad I
fancy,
got that
doesn't
out
it?
Sounds smooth and sassy.
And
A snowy soiree, December 23rd.
That's right. I can't promise it's going to snow in the theater, but we know there's going to be snow outside.
No
so
doubt.
Dance Aspen, which is just an amazing company. We've been so happy to be part of their creation story and journey, and they are creating for the Wheeler a very family-friendly 30-minute performance, and it's really geared to those with the little ones who want to help introduce their children to the magic of dance. So there'll be beautiful holiday costumes, some fun small performances, small dances they've put together, a half hour of that, and then we're all going to go downstairs to the Vault Bar lobby. It'll be beautifully decorated for the holidays. We'll have cocoa and cookies, and then the dancers will come down so that families can have their pictures taken with the dancers after the performance.
I mean, Christmas must be one of your favorite times at the Wheeler, right? I mean, it's just it's just a holiday vibe. I mean, I
It's
can feel it
beautiful.
already. It just with the performances that you have. You
Well,
know,
and to stand in the Vault Bar and watch the snowflakes coming down, you see the mountain out the windows, and it's just so warm and cozy. It's beautiful. I just love it. I will say we may be adding one or two more shows around the holidays before Christmas, more to come on that. But celebrating the holidays is a really big part, I think, of how people see a tradition in Aspen at the holidays.
well, that magical aspect of the Wheeler must be one of the things that you love the most, right? What are some of those things about the Wheeler, the historic Wheeler Opera House, that you love the most about it, and working there?
Well, as someone who's new to the Wheeler, so I've been at the Wheeler for 2.5 years now. Every time people come in to see a show, and it doesn't matter if they're coming for a Warren Miller ski film, it doesn't matter if they're coming for Met in HD opera performance, everyone who comes in has a story of what their favorite show has been, or when I did my school play, I was on your stage, or I came up the stairs outside and gave my ticket to John Bush to come see a movie here. So everybody has a Wheeler story,
Right.
and that speaks so strongly to what the Wheeler itself means to our community.
Well, let's tie that into your new mission statement, because I mean, it's about creating memories, but talk to the mission statement.
Right. So it's a brand new vision statement, and we worked on it as a staff. We worked on it with our Wheeler Advisory Board, and at the Wheeler Opera House, we set the stage for connections that create memories for our audiences, artists, and greater Aspen community. So as you said before, it's about those memories. That's really the heart. We get to make the connections and the connections with the audience and the artist, but it's those memories that are really, really critical to how we see our work.
Well, and the memories are also connected to the history, right? There's such a long history. I think from 1889 in my notes was the first performance in April of 1889. And to honor that history, what are some of the, I mean, because you must feel, I would imagine, a bit of responsibility to honor the history. Can you speak to that a little bit about honoring the history of the Wheeler?
Absolutely. I think that in one tangible way, when the Aspen Historical Society does their tours on Wednesdays at 1:30 and they talk about the full history of the Wheeler. 135 years next year, 135th birthday of the Wheeler, will be the 40th anniversary of the grand reopening and Wheeler Presents programming. So these are big anniversaries, and the responsibility, I think, that everyone on our team feels, and our city council, our Wheeler Advisory Board, is how do we how do we make sure that in 100 years people are still feeling the same love and connection with this building as they do now and as they have in the past?
Right. Keep the tradition going is the best way to honor it, right? Yeah. Everyone in history wants, and in the past, and people who've even gone, aren't in our world anymore, would want that to carry on. Did you have fun on the show today? Our time went so fast.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you for the great questions. Thanks. It's always just such a treat to be able to talk about something that means so much and is so important.
Well, it's been an honor, seriously, and a pleasure. I mean, we love the Wheeler. It's such a local gem. So AspenShowTix.com. For more, guys, and to buy tickets, the tickets are on sale now for the December shows. I've got some cookies for you, Lisa.
Oh, I've heard about these.
I knew that was probably most of the reason you wanted to be here.
Well, there were a few, but this was really high on the list. Thank you so much.
Just
I
a small
appreciate
token.
that. Thank you so much, Erik.
Thanks, Lisa Rigsby Peterson, and thank you guys most of all for watching this week on The Local Show.
At the Wheeler Opera House, we set the stage for connections that create memories for our audiences, artists, and greater Aspen community. At the Wheeler Opera House, all are welcome. You're welcome to be a part of history.
I'm so passionate about this community. I absolutely love living here and raising my family here. It gives me a lot of pride to share this with my friends and my clients and help them achieve their dreams of owning an Aspen snowmass and enjoying this incredible lifestyle.
Want to live like a local? Help us reduce food waste, a major contributor to climate change.
You can help in 3 simple ways.
Plan menus carefully and only buy what you need.
Collect unused scraps for compost.
Buy ugly fruits and vegetables.
Reduce food waste.
Live like a local.
Sundog Athletics, Aspen's Adventure Sports School, is your opportunity to experience Aspen's most amazing adventure locations and gain new skills to increase your safety, performance, and enjoyment while mountain biking, road biking, hiking, and paddling on Aspen's exclusive canoeing adventure.
Welcome to